Hello, my name is Jantare, and I want to welcome you to Reinvent Your Body series. How to create your best health, stop yo-yo dieting, and lose weight for good. Today's my guest is Michaela Moto. Hello, Michaela.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
No problem, my pleasure. Would you mind to give an introduction a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So my name is Michaela Bell. I'm the founder of the business Michaela's Motto. I'm an online personal trainer, so I do live virtual training sessions. I do some in person here in Arizona. I'm also a professional dancer and a macronutrition coach. So yeah, we're here in Arizona, and my husband travels for a lot of the year. So having my business online and being able to reach even clients worldwide has been a huge blessing for me, and something that's been a special treat for me to bring to the table and offer people. So I enjoy it tremendously.
Amazing. I'm sure you're up. So today we're going to talk about like food and habits a little bit. So
Yeah.
because you are a coach, obviously, so you go through the clients, you go through a lot of clients. Can you tell us a little bit like how do you start basically the journey? Like when you have overweight client coming in, how do you basically start their journey, their diet, what they need to do, sort of thing?
Yeah. So as far as clean eating goes, that's a really loose term, but
Yes,
eating,
exactly. Because it's like
yeah.
people talk about clean eating, and what is it like that clean eating? Like not a lot of people understand, and we know like what is it like clean clothes, you wash it and they're clean. But when it comes to clean eating, I think it's such a wide like variety, so not everyone understands it. So okay, can we start with that about the clean eating?
Yeah. So I think when we're first starting out, it's overwhelming when we step in, right? We're dedicating ourselves to starting a new journey. And a part of that is just learning and educating ourselves. And I think that's where a lot of people aren't patient enough, because we want instant results, right?
Yep.
We step in, we start something, and we want to see those results. We want to see that weight fall off. And we forget about the education side, or the quality of our foods, and knowing how to properly fuel ourselves. And also, we don't want this to be a temporary fix. I don't want to, lose weight or have a client lose weight in, 3 months or whatever it is that their timeline is, and then them just think that they're satisfied with their body and go back to their old ways. Because that's when we start this endless cycle, this yo-yo of losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, right? We want a lifestyle change. And so, big things is just when we're first starting it, hey, let's just start incorporating more fruits and vegetables into our diet. Let's cut back on that processed food. So instead of thinking of, buying something that's pre-made from the store, or like the frozen dinners or something like that, let's step into the kitchen more. Let's start cooking meals. They don't have to be difficult recipes. Getting in more greens, just getting in a variety, and slowly starting to cut out bit by bit those processed foods, those pre-made meals. And just, like I said, educating yourself. Like when you're eating something, I'm eating these almonds. What are the health benefits behind these almonds? They're heart healthy, they're brain healthy. They provide so much nutrients to our body. Let's educate ourselves on that. Berries, an antioxidant. Wow, that's so good for myself. That makes me want to eat more of that, right? Knowing the goodness behind that. I always like to say that, like, food, actual real quality food that grows from the ground, livestock, that's nature's medicine, right? That's what nature provides us. It's packed with all this nutrient dense food that can really benefit our bodies, versus the sugary things that we kind of crave and cling on to.
Yeah.
So as far as nutrition goes, just slowly making those little adjustments of, hey, I'm going to add in, a side salad to start with. I'm going to add in, steamed broccoli. I'm going to, these little bits up into my breakfast. Instead of having for my snack, a sugary granola bar or cereal, let me grab an apple and some almonds. Those quick little adjustments can actually go really, really far. And people think it takes more effort. It doesn't. We go to the store, we buy the things that we buy, just have those on hand. Buy almonds, buy, a thing of apples to go through for the week. And that can take us a long way. And it's not necessarily even more expensive as people say it is.
Yeah. I think it's the choices, isn't it? It's the planning a little bit ahead. It's
Yeah.
and just going for it and stop making excuses.
That's the thing, is you have to commit yourself. If you aren't ready to start, there isn't any coach, there isn't any person that can make you change your mind. You have to want that for yourself and yourself only, right?
Yeah.
So if you're doing it for other reasons, you might want to reevaluate, like, I'm doing this for me. I have a goal. And even when those times get hard, or you're traveling, or you're socializing, or doing all this stuff, there's nothing wrong with enjoying those moments, but also realizing, like, hey, I have a goal for myself, and I'm going to hold myself accountable. I want to reach that goal. So my actions are going to complement my goal.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
When you have, like, overweight person comes into your, comes to you basically, and how will you start with them, like the journey basically, where it starts?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the same kind of thing as food that we talk about, is starting small, right? Someone who's overweight, I'm not going to ask them to go run 2 miles. Right? So we have to slowly start working. Maybe we start out with body weight exercises. We're just trying to get our body moving, get proper form. Once again, that education tool. I'm going to educate you on how to properly move your body, how to, squat properly so we don't injure our knees, how to have, all these different things. Even taking a walk, after a meal or at the end of your day, take a walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Incorporate more exercise there, that cardio, but it doesn't have to be so strenuous or so exhausting or difficult that we feel like we can't accomplish it. That's not my goal. My goal as a coach is to make a client feel like they can accomplish it, and it's difficult and challenging, but I'm walking them through it, and it's a progression, right? We tackle one thing, let's move on to the next thing. Let's move on to a more advanced exercise that can benefit you. But once again, it's a small little step that will slowly start to see change, and where our goal is overall lifestyle change. I'm not just teaching you how to be with me for an hour during that, exercise class or workout, and then I want to send you off on your own and you're off to the lions. My goal is to educate you, and honestly, I want to hold you accountable through this process. And I expect my clients to have that accountability system behind them as well, within their homes, their friends. If I'm telling you to go on a walk around the neighborhood, there might be days, and I guarantee there will be days where you're like, I'm tired, I had a long day at work, and this is not something I want to do right now. Grab a friend in the neighborhood that you know and say, hey, can you walk? Let's go on a walk every afternoon. Can we do that after work? And to have that friend that can hold you accountable and say, hey, are you ready for that walk? You're like, I really don't want to do this, but someone's holding me accountable. I've got to show up for her too, or that friend.
Yeah.
So having that structure, that team behind you of accountability is so important. And I think we forget that. I think we think that we're on our journey alone. And it's so much harder that way when we, our point is to have fellowship in life, is to have that community. So develop that for yourself, that healthy, relationship and team for you.
Yeah, definitely. So, when they're on the diets and the healthy eating and all that, but people are created, like they have snacks, like during the days and all, and it's good when they, like on the track, when they, for the run, for the exercise, for clean eating and all that, but then they go to work and there's like sitting down job in front of the computer all day, and they got the snacks always because it's convenient, because it's there. Or even when you're at home, you're watching telly on a sofa and it's very easy to snack. How do you break that? How do you stop snacking? What do you suggest to your clients?
Yeah, so there's a couple things. One thing is we need to stay hydrated. A lot of the time we are mistaking hunger for hydration. Like, we need to be hydrated, right? So if we're not drinking enough water within our day, our hunger cues get really, really messed up. So staying hydrated throughout your day, drinking enough water is super, super important. That'll help immediately. So I always say before we have a snack, drink some water, then kind of test it out. Like, how am I feeling here? You know, if we're going into it, we haven't drank water all day. I mean, we're going to be more hungry as is. So just having that hydration behind it, you're already setting yourself up for more success. And then I always like to say, you know, oftentimes when we're snacking, we want to go grab a bag of chips or something and go sit on the couch, like you mentioned. Instead, set yourself up, create a plate or a bowl, whatever it is, and give yourself that portion, right? So automatically, we're not eating out of the fridge. I'm not standing in front of the fridge, snacking on this, snacking on that, or grabbing the whole bag and just mindlessly eating. You know, there I'm like, I've got my plate, and once my plate's done, I can be satisfied. You know, that's finished. That meal is complete. It's not that, you know, you go until the bag's empty, or, you know, a fourth of the way down and you're like, well, too late, you know, already ate it. So I think having that set up for yourself, once again, setting yourself up for success, you know, having that pre-planned, right? You have to plan. Even at, you know, work, when you're at work and there's, you know, tons of different things, donuts on the table, all these different snacks that people bring in, or catered food, you know, you can make the decision of if you want what's on the table, it's, you know, what's healthy, what's not, you know, what's going to complement my goals here? What do I want to eat? Or I always like to bring my own meals. I mean, pack a lunch, pack those snacks, and keep them in the fridge at work. Or, you know, if you don't have a fridge available to you, maybe you're bringing more of the things that don't need to be refrigerated. Almonds, fruit will be fine. That kind of thing that, you know, you already planned in advance. It's already set up. So if work fails on you and there's something, you know, there's pizza for the meal or donuts, it's like you can make that decision, once again, for your honoring your body, honoring your goals of what you want to eat. But you have that option there. You've given yourself the option because you prepared, you planned in advance.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, when there's like those snacks, right? And they snack and they snack and this, but that eventually ends up like overeating. Like then, you know, it's a snack before dinner, then it's a dinner, then it's a dessert, and then there's another more snacks coming up, you know. It's like it becomes overeating. How do you,
absolutely.
How do you know that it is actually, you know, you ate too much, and as well, how to stop that?
Yeah, I mean, I always like to tell my clients, have 3 meals, so your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then have 2 snacks in between. And our snacks, a lot of people say 5 meals, but 5 meals, I mean, if you're eating 5 big portions of plate, that's overeating, right? We want to be in a calorie deficit if that is our goal, is to lose weight. So calories in, calories out. Are you exercising enough to complement how much calories you're bringing into your body? So finding out that ratio too is important. Is something that I take, you know, clients along the journey with, is how many calories we should be eating, tracking our macronutrition or our calories. There's a lot of different ways to go about it, but it's portion control, you know, once again, not having that mindless eating. So when I talk to a client, a big thing that's, you know, very helpful is when we eat, not to have our, you know, phones in front of us, not to be working on something else, which is so common, or watching TV. It's be present in what you're eating. Another big thing people say is showing gratitude to your food. So whether that's a prayer or just being thankful for your plate or what's in front of you, taking that moment to realize, like, this is for my body. This is for my good. This brings nutrient value to my body to make me operate better, right?
Yeah.
It supports my body. And so I think showing gratitude in that way, we're more present in what we're eating. Another big tool is, like, between taking bites to eat, put down your fork as you're chewing. You're not shoveling food in our mouth. You know, we're taking time, we're slowing down. It goes back to the whole, like, family dinner, right? Sitting at the table, which is something that you don't see very often anymore, is seeing, you know, a family at a dinner table with their kids and having conversation. You know, it becomes so, you know, we're on the go. We've got soccer practice. We've got, you know, dance class. We've got work, all these different distractions around us. And we forget to, like, come together as a community, as a family, friendship, whatever it is, to come together and have a conversation over our food. It's not just about shoveling our face. It's like, we can slow our meal down, enjoy it, and enjoy who we're with as well, right? There's more than just our plate, whether we think about it or not, that plays into it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's another one. So mindful eating. A big thing too is, if we're not fueling ourselves properly, those sugary foods tend to make us more hungry. I like to call them empty calories. Although they're not empty, they actually are high in calories.
Yeah.
They don't bring anything to keep us full. There's no
Value.
fiber. There's no value to it. And so we think, oh, well, I'll take my snack Skittles. Well, I'm going to tell you what, you're going to go grab something after you eat those Skittles or shortly after, because it's not going to keep you satisfied at all.
Yeah.
So just not forgetting that. And then another thing, eating regularly enough, because we tend to, a lot of the time, we get so busy, so caught up that we forget to eat. A lot of people, which is an interesting thing to me, or we're too busy to eat, we're too stressed to eat. Okay, if you haven't eaten all day, at the end of the day, you're going to make up for it. You get to that point of being starving, I'm so hungry, that you're going to overeat. So you think like, oh, I'm just going to, I'll save my meals, I'll have just a big dinner. Well, then after your dinner, you're still not going to have enough. You're going to want a dessert. The list goes on. So if we can portion out our meals, have balance in our diet, eat regularly enough, we're not going to have those insulin spikes either, right?
Yeah.
So just keeping everything balanced, having meals, every 2.5, 3 hours, or snack, that'll make our meals smaller and we'll stay more satisfied. So that yo-yoing doesn't happen, or that binge and restrict kind of thing doesn't happen. All that does is bring guilt on us, right? And it doesn't get us to our goals. So I think just remembering, like, am I honoring my body with this meal? Am I being present in this meal? It does take that mental focus, and that's where having that accountability is very nice to have, but it plays a huge part, and that's what's going to bring the long-term success, and also our lifestyle change. And I think that's the biggest picture, is the lifestyle change. What do I want to do for the rest of my life? How do I want to continue to see the results I want to see, or reach the goal and maintain it?
Exactly. Because
So,
it's not such a thing as a quick fix,
no, it's not.
It's a sort of, it's a process, it's a journey, it's determination, and you just need to understand and kind of go for it. And it's easy, like, to sit down, and I'm guilty as well in that, when I sit down sometimes to watch telly, and before, like, you grab something like chocolate and you're not even noticing how you finish eating chocolate, and you think like it's already gone. And it's like, it only was few bites, and I didn't even felt that chocolate, the taste, I didn't like, it wasn't register. And this is where it's like, I'm trying to catch myself, and I'm going to have a slice of cake or slice of chocolate or piece or whatever. I will sit there, might have a cup of tea or coffee. I will actually try to enjoy it, to understand what I'm eating. Because if you have a chocolate, let's make it worth it, that I literally felt that chocolate, I tasted the chocolate, I understand that I have a chocolate, not like to eat and not to understand what, that I didn't have, like, literally, I ate it, calories there, but it's not register.
Yeah, and there's something to that too, is, we're creatures of habit. So when we build our routine, if you're a person that you have a sweet tooth, or after dinner you always have that treat, I mean, whether you really want that treat or not, it's in you to be like, okay, well, it's after dinner, I'm going to have that chocolate. Whether you really are craving it or not, it's just a part of that routine, that cycle. And so being present, realizing, do I need this chocolate? Or even if you're so full from dinner, you're like, oh, I still need the chocolate. Do you really need it? Yeah. So one thing you mentioned, the coffee and tea, I have really enjoyed after dinner having an herbal tea, something that doesn't have caffeine in it, or is low in caffeine. And it's sweet, it's fruity, whatever you kind of like. And it really does help with my sweet tooth. And after I have my tea, like, oh, I don't need another thing, or I don't need that dessert that I needed prior to having that. But it kind of just, it kind of allows me to relax, one, and it's, it's a taste. I think we like taste.
Yeah, true.
So having that tea, after dinner is something that's nice to just get you to wind down and actually sit down, relax. If you are watching TV or, taking a bath, whatever like your nightly routine is, to actually embrace that and enjoy it versus thinking food, food, food. We get really wrapped up in that.
Yeah. Do you know, is another thing just caught on my mind. Like having a sweet, like when you're cooking a dinner, waiting for a dinner, like, and you literally starving. And sometimes, when you are so hungry that you literally like, you go home and you literally attack the fridge and you go for everything and anything, whatever comes, across your eyes. But then at the same time, you want a proper dinner. So while like I'm doing quite a bit, not like I'm trying not to do that, but I'm guilty as well. Like while I'm cooking my dinner, like I want everything, and my flavors is going like, I want something sweet, I want something savory, and I'm going for everything literally. And by the time, obviously, I'm gonna have some maybe if cake is there, slice of cake in front of my eyes, it's gonna be gone, it's gonna be demolished, literally. But at the time, my dinner is still cooking. But after I shoved my face with the cake and some like sweets or whatever, my taste like kind of disappears. Like I don't want that dinner anymore. I'm not that, and this is where I start feeling guilty. And I remember when my parents like always, no sweets before dinner, and we always like, we joke about that, but it's true. Because if you eat like, like junk food before your dinner, just right before, it kills your appetite. So it's
but then it's not going to sustain you, right?
That's the thing.
So you're not getting the nutrient value in it. I mean, you're miserable at this point because you've eaten so much, but that value, that nutrients that you need isn't, you're not getting. So I think, once again, trying to reverse that cycle of catch yourself before then, of eating enough, snacks in between those meals, so that we are, kind of staying more balanced, our hunger staying more neutral. Not that we're never going to be hungry. Of course we are going to be hungry. But even if that's coming home and that, once again, have I had enough water today? Maybe drink some water. And then also, there's nothing wrong with grabbing a more healthy snack while we're cooking our dinner. Grab some carrots and hummus as you're cooking your dinner, or crackers and hummus, whatever you're wanting, but don't spoil your dinner. And I think it's one of those things where we just have to be mindful, but it's getting to the point and getting into that routine, which is hard. It doesn't happen overnight. It might take a very long time to get to that point, but I think when we eat more balanced, when we are, once again, caring for our body in that positive way, we can slowly start to change those habits that none of us like. It's just, we get to that point of being so hungry or so deprived that, we don't care anymore. In that moment, we just don't care. We just want food.
It's a moment. It's the like weakness of that moment, basically. Like,
and you're not looking for the healthy things in that moment. You want all, like you said, you're seeking, sugars and flavors, and, you're not even present. You're not present.
Anything and everything across your, like, you just literally, you just rage the fridge, because it's like, I'm going to attack.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, definitely. So you person that you travel a lot as well.
I do.
So and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that's like going for business trips and everything, and how to balance like your diet and your travels, like, because for some people it will be like so inconvenient, it's an excuse as well, not to, be healthy. How do you balance that?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, there's really no right or wrong. It's really just finding your system, your routine. It kind of depends on your situation. But, if I'm traveling, let's say I'm going through the airport, so I'm taking a, plane wherever I'm going, I always bring an empty water bottle with me. And once I get through security, I fill that water bottle up, with a drinking fountain or whatever, or, there's always a Starbucks or something you can ask for water. but always, because once you get on the plane, I always feel like once I get onto the plane, I'm like so thirsty. I can't wait for them to come through with some drinks, to serve us. And that's not even, half hour through the flight. And you're getting this like little water cup, So I always try and stay hydrated beforehand. I try and eat before I leave too. So eat a good meal before you get on your flight. And then packing snacks again, whether that's a meal, you can actually bring a meal through security. I don't know if everyone knows that, but you can pack a meal as long as, it's not super something that's liquid. It has to be under that, the fluid ounces that's recommended. But having those snacks, having go-tos, whether that's, our nuts, our apples, our fruits, our turkey roll-ups, like whatever that is for you, take those with you. And so when you get to your destination, you're not completely starving. So another thing is when we're in a hotel room, right?
Yeah.
You're staying in a hotel, you've got this little mini fridge. I always try and, depending on your situation, if you have a car or take an Uber, whatever it is, to go, once I get to that city, prepare myself by going to the grocery store and getting some snacks. One, that'll cut down on our cost for food of just spending.
True.
To have our snacks, with us. If you want to go out to eat for your meals, you can. And that's just a matter of, looking up the nutrition facts behind it or ordering healthy, because it is difficult sometimes when you have a huge menu in front of you and so much looks good. And sometimes we don't want to make the best decisions. But your goal, you've got to keep that in mind. But a big thing is just preparing yourself for your trip, for your traveling, wherever you are. I like to just have my snacks prepared for me, or have them ready and available when I am hungry. So you're not going those long periods where you get to that starving point and then you're like, okay, I'm going to a restaurant and I'm going to order everything off the menu. So it's just, once again, it's thinking in advance, knowing. I always say too, when I'm traveling, I try not to mess up my eating routine too much. I try and stay pretty, if it's not something, if you're on vacation and you want to splurge a little bit, that's one thing. Okay. We all get to that point where it's like, I'm going to relax. I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to eat what I want to eat. And that's okay. I'm talking about us that have the lifestyle of, we travel on a weekly basis or a couple times a month, having that. What do you normally have for breakfast? Even if you're going out for breakfast, what do you normally get? Don't order far from that. Kind of stay in your normal routine. What are your usual snacks? We'll go to the grocery store and get some snacks, or, the gas station or whatever, and kind of keep those. So our lifestyle is not changing too much, although we are traveling, because when we have these big waves of up and down, traveling can easily bring a huge calorie surplus.
Yeah.
If we're not paying attention. So once again, when we are going out to eat, looking at the nutrition menu, you can go on any restaurant most of the time and ask for, see the nutrition menu. And you'll be surprised a lot of the time of, how much fat's in it, how much of it and portions you're getting. So just being mindful of all that. And once again, educating yourself behind what you're eating. So I hope that was helpful. But for me, it is just getting in that exercise too. I can't tell you how many hotel workouts I've done, either if it's body weight or even just walking around. If you're in a new city, go walk around, go get some exercise. I think we think that we have to be all or nothing. We're either completely in it, I'm completely in that lifestyle, I'm reaching my goals, or I'm on, I'm traveling, I can't do it because I don't have this, that, and the other. That's not the case. It might not be the same, but you can still get something in, even if it's not an hour workout and it's a 10-minute workout. At least mentally, I feel productive. I've gotten some movement in my body, and I feel like I'm one step closer to my goal. I didn't just throw it out of the window for the week.
Absolutely.
So
okay, so as a fitness trainer, right? What is for example, give us like a daily meal plan as a what to eat for. What would you suggest to eat? Is a healthy breakfast, healthy lunch, and a dinner? What would you say?
So for breakfast, one of my favorite go-tos, I love to do sourdough toast. I put an avocado on it, and I do like a soft egg on top, or like a fried egg. I put like tomato on it, oregano, salt and pepper, and that's got, you know, my carbs from my sourdough bread. I've got my protein from my egg, and I've got healthy fats both in my egg yolk and my avocado. And so there's a well-rounded meal that's going to keep me full and satisfied. Oh, and let me speak the truth. I always have my coffee. Coffee for breakfast too. And then, you know, lunch, I'm a big salad lover. So that's my volume, right? Keep me full and satisfied. I got lots of different flavors in it. So I like to call them garbage salads. One of my good friends that was like she's a doctor, naturopathic doctor. She would say, she'd call them garbage salads. And she said, you know, just kind of put whatever you have in there. So whatever's in your fridge that you can think of, you can kind of toss in there and make this really yummy, flavorful, you know, meal out of it. You can throw in grains, throw in some quinoa in there, throw in, you know, your chicken from the night before. You can make a big, big salad to take on the go with you. So I like to do that. I'll usually do like a olive oil based dressing, mix in some good like healthy fats. You can add nuts in there, some fruits in there if you want to make it fruity, but it's just a good way to keep me full. You know, you've got that fiber in there that's just going to keep you satisfied. So that's a good lunch one for me. And dinner, man, we really switch it up, but I love salmon. Salmon's like a big favorite of mine. So I'll do salmon. We like to do dill on top of it, which is really yummy. Yeah, it was some lemon, like a lemon wedge, or squeeze some lemon on top of it. And then I always like to do just some good greens. So I like to do, I don't know if you have an air fryer. Have you ever used an air fryer before?
No, I haven't, because I'm not really a fried person. I like steam things. I like salad, or just literally like a crunchy sort of. If I have like a broccoli, I like crunchy, not
well, that's what the air fryer does. So the air fryer, you don't even have to add an oil to it. You can just literally, you know, spray some olive oil spray on it, but it'll literally crisp it up. It's so quick and easy. You can do the same thing in the oven by baking it or broiling it. But I'll do, like, I love asparagus. I love broccoli. I love to grill we have like a little George Foreman grill. I'll grill zucchini. I'll like slice it really thin and grill zucchini. And then, you know, pair it with some rice or quinoa. Farro's a big one we like to do. So once again, you're getting that healthy fat from your salmon, good protein in there. You're getting your veggies in, and then you've got your carb source there too. So, and once again, just staying well-rounded. There's nothing that I eat on a daily basis that I never switch up. So my veggies, I try and really, really get a good variety of. My fruits, I try and get a variety of. So not saying like, oh, I have to eat this again. You know, keep it exciting, keep it enjoyable, keep it flavorful. Because I think that's a fear that we get when we start eating healthy, is like, well, that's so plain, that's so bland, you know? And we forget, like, no, there's so much flavor you can add in. You're just adding these restrictions on it, you know?
Definitely. What would you suggest, like the 5 vegetables or fruits to have daily?
Once again, I like that. Like, I really do like a variety, but berries are a big one for us. So I love to do blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries. Those are my favorites, and huge antioxidants. I mean, they're great for you. Apples, I love to do red apples. Antioxidants help with anti-inflammatory, high in fiber. Broccoli, like I said, that's a big, like, heart healthy one that I love. It's high in fiber. Vitamin K, there's foliate in it, can help with lower blood pressure, cholesterol. Spinach is another one. I mean, keep those greens on hand. Keep those leafy greens that you can throw in a salad, is an easy one. Avocado is a great one too. Throw it on toast, throw it in a salad, throw it on really anything. And then sweet potato is another big one. Sweet potato is more of like a starchier carb, I guess you could say, but it's a vegetable. And it's an antioxidant. It's high in potassium. You've got your vitamin C in there. So those are definitely ones that I can say I stick to more. I love bell peppers, tomatoes.
Yeah.
To get in those, not only are they good for you, but they also add color to your plate. They're fun. Carrots, that variety where it's not like, oh, I'm just eating a green plate. It's like we're bringing in color. We're bringing in, more other vitamins into our, our diet. So staying well-rounded with our vegetables and fruits, really.
Exactly. Amazing. So before we're going to wrap up, is there anything else on your mind that you would like to share with the listeners?
Oh, I would say my biggest thing as far as, exercise and nutrition is really to figure out and what is your goal? What's your why behind it? Why are you doing this? What is it for? Because when we have a purpose or an intention that's purposeful and means something to us, that can drive out a lot further than we can with our willpower or our how we feel on a day-to-day basis. Because if we are not feeling it, if we're not motivated, that motivation can really lack. But if we know our real reason why we're doing something and that intention behind it, that can drive us, that can motivate us. So if that's, losing weight so you can chase your kids around, if that's, wanting to be able to go outdoors more, do more strenuous hikes, whatever that is, what is your reason why? Find that and write it down on paper. Put little reminders around your room. Put it on your bathroom mirror each day when you wake up in the morning. Those little reminders can really take you a long way. And that why might change throughout your journey, but knowing that when those moments of willpower fail on you, it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
And another thing is just, we're not perfect. I think we're always looking for the right time to start. And there's never going to be a right time.
No.
There's never, even now when we're in quarantine, it's like we feel that, we were too busy before and now we're too stressed now. We've got too much time on our hands right now and we don't when we're, in our normal routine. You've got to find that routine. You've got to develop habits for yourself that are sustainable, that you can do on a daily basis. And also when it doesn't happen, that's okay. We don't have to be perfect, but we also don't have to feel like a failure. So give yourself grace through the process and know that you're learning each step of the way. And just be the best version of yourself. I always tell my clients when they show up to class with me, I just want you to give it your all. Give it all that you have in this hour class. Give it everything you have, whatever strength you have. I just want you to be one step better than you were yesterday. So I would say that's my biggest takeaway is just be the best version of yourself and give yourself grace through the process. This is a lifestyle. It's not a short diet. So if you're looking at, this week I was off one day. Well, that one day is no big deal.
Yeah.
You want those days of success to outweigh the ones that you feel weren't as great, but those are still part of your learning process, still part of your journey.
Yeah.
And take others with you. Take others on that journey with you. Find an accountability partner. Find, a friend that's going to support you through it all, because that's really what's going to make the biggest difference in your journey. Just enjoy it.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you tell listeners where they can find you?
Yeah. So my website is www.michaelasmotto.com. You can find me on Instagram. It's Michaelas_motto, MOTTO. You can also find me on Facebook with the same. I love hearing from people. I love hearing people reach out to me. So I'm an open book with questions, and would love to hear from anyone who is interested in wanting to take that next step in their fitness journey.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Michaela, for talking, for your time. It was wonderful.
Of course. It's a pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for watching. I see you in the next episode, and have a good day.